Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. Happy Friday, everyone. It is time to talk about the Blue Brand Friday Night Smackdown. It is the July 30th edition. This is the last wrestling show for this month, and we are moving on to August already. I can't even believe how fast this month went. I think this was by far the fastest month the entire year, and I'm so excited to jump in to talk about SmackDown today because I thought we had a really good show. Last week's show wasn't anything too OMG, but I think today's show was a vast improvement, and I cannot wait to talk about everything that went down here tonight. We had the return of Sasha Banks. We had an official major matchup essentially get confirmed for SummerSlam, and we're also, again, we're heading into SummerSlam, so we're getting a clearer direction of where many things are going. So there is going to be plenty to talk about today. Before we get started, I do want to remind you guys all not to forget to take part of the live chat. If you are in this live stream, make sure you guys go ahead and comment your thoughts as we move forward with this show. You are all my chosen ones. You are all my chosen co-hosts for this show. So make sure you guys take part in the chat. Also, if you guys want to make sure your comment gets read on the air, you can always send in a super chat. A super chat gets your comment read on the air, 100% guaranteed. And I also get to keep all proceeds from super chats. And I'm actually going to kick it off with our first super chat of the day. And this one is from none other than Nick Grasso. Nick Grasso. Thank you so much, Nick, for sending in this super chat. Nick says, quote, I get why they did that with Sasha Banks, but a good swerve okay, hold on. Let me start this all over. I totally messed this up. Nick says, I get why they did that with Sasha, but a good swerve would have been Bianca turning because I don't think Sasha will get booed. I feel like everybody was expecting Bianca to turn, for Sasha Banks to turn on Bianca Belair. So I actually love the way that they did it because it's like, okay, the last time that we saw Sasha Banks was after she lost the title. And when she came in today and she gave that big hug to Bianca Belair, I was kind of like, okay, is she gonna turn her back on her eventually down the road? Are they gonna what's gonna happen here, Because I still feel like they still have something there, something more that they can touch on with these two women. And obviously, given that there really isn't anybody else right now for Bianca Belair, you want to build to this awesome match at SummerSlam. It's gotta be Sasha Banks, man. So I was expecting this turn. However, I am so much happier that they did it fast and right away by the end of the night so that it didn't get oversaturated. Sometimes a lot of these things tend to get overcomplicated, as you guys know. So it was quick, it was effective, and it happened fast. So I was a very big fan of how the show ended here tonight. So thank you so much to Nick for sending in this super chat. I thank you very much for it. We got another one from my creation, Adam Blamplate, who says, it was a really fun episode of SmackDown, just let down by the Cena heel turn, or it was Vince's way of telling us that he will continue to rely on part-timers. I thought today's SmackDown was really awesome, as I just said earlier today. Today was actually my favorite John Cena promo since he has returned. I thought that his promo today was absolutely fire. And then his interaction with Baron Corbin, which we're going to get into in just a second, was even more comedy gold. I think top to bottom how they handled everything, except for one minor tweak. I loved everything that they did leading up to this contract signing to make the match between John Cena and Roman Reigns. I like how they kind of did that swerve. And again, we'll get into the details of that in just a second here. But thank you so much to Adam Blamplate for sending in this super chat. We have another super chat from none other than Reggie Simmons, who says, here's to another awesome show. Thank you so much, Reggie, for sending in the super chat. I thank you guys so much for sending these in. Alrighty, everyone, let's jump into this show because we have so much to talk about. And I want to read this funny comment from Keith Duran, who says that WWE didn't shy away from the missionary position comments today. I have a feeling, because it got over, obviously, the first time that this was mentioned, we are going to be hearing about it till SummerSlam. I can guarantee it. They definitely kept it going here today. Really funny stuff. So we'll talk about all of that stuff here today. And Zoe Jeremy has a different reaction. Says that they made Balor look like a the B word. I actually have to disagree with this, Zoe. I think that they set up a future match for Finn Balor, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But I do think that a lot of Finn Balor fans were definitely not happy with the outcome, although we already knew that they were going to make their way to Roman Reigns, John Cena. Like, everybody knew that was the direction that they were heading in, but I can see why a lot of Finn Balor fans didn't like that they essentially used him to get to that point, to like launch off into signing this contract with Roman Reigns and Cena. But again, we'll get into that in just a second. We got another super chat from Khaled Adam, who says the contract signing was definitely segment of the night. It was a good segment, a really good segment. You know, usually these contract signings are, you know, they're a terrible bore. People have been complaining about them for a while. It's not the first time you hear complaints about the contract signings. And I think they're aware of that for the most part, because today's contract signing was probably one of my favorites that I can think of, and current ones that I can think of that I actually really enjoyed. It was just like one minor thing, which ended up playing a part in a later segment of the night. But for the most part, it was definitely good stuff. So thank you so much to Colette Adam for sending in this super chat. But let's go ahead and do this, guys. Here we go. Again, the July 30th edition of SmackDown took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota this week, and they opened things up with John Cena. And again, this was my favorite John Cena promo since he has returned. So they play a video package, sort of, you know, recounting the events that have been unfolding in the past couple of weeks. And then immediately after we come back from this video package, John Cena addresses the comments that Roman Reigns made last week. So if you guys remember, which I'm sure you do, Roman Reigns essentially said that John Cena was the same old thing, just like missionary hanky panky. That is exactly what he compared it to. And so this week, John Cena comments on that, and he basically gives the WWE Universe some very, very strong life advice. John Cena looks directly into the camera and he says, if you find somebody that can make missionary position interesting for 2 decades, then you should keep them in your life. And I just thought, oh my God, everyone's going to lose their minds over this. This was really funny. I thought this was a good play on, you know, addressing what Roman Reigns had said, because it was a really good shot at John Cena. And John Cena found a really good way to sort of, you know, get back at him, or kind of like turn the tables, you know. So I thought this was really funny. John Cena then moves on to say that Roman Reigns is scared, that he's scared like a little child. He mentions that, of course, he's going to come in and he's going to do a lot of the same stuff, that he's not going to change who he is because that's who he is. He mentions people like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, that you don't change guys like that. So I thought this was really good. And then he just continues to throw shot after shot at Roman Reigns. He tells Roman Reigns that the reason why he feels that change is important and why he has to constantly be changing is because the people stop caring about him. And this was such a burn because, as you guys all know, for a very long time, Roman Reigns was hated by the people because they were, you know, WWE was, you can say, shoving him down our throats, really pushing him to be something that the fans were rejecting. And so he obviously brought this up. And then he then goes on to say that Roman Reigns, the reason why the fans don't believe in Roman Reigns is because he doesn't believe in himself. And I'm just telling you, it was back-to-back shots here. John Cena then goes on to say that Roman is nothing more than a lazy stooge named Joe, and that he's just a blood-sucking product of this machine. And so already with this, I'm thinking, all right, this is really good. This is the John Cena that I like, just shots after shots. But then it gets better, everybody. So one of our favorite topics the last couple of weeks here on the SmackDown post show has been Baron Corbin and his shitty life and his poor, broke, sad life that he's been going through. Oddly enough, Baron Corbin has finally connected with the people here. He's finally connected with us in a weird way because I feel sorry for him. And I know a lot of people feel sorry for him too, in a funny way, where he's broke. His life is going down the drain. Just everything is going wrong for him. So he comes out And he tells, first and foremost, John Cena does not even recognize Baron Corbin. And he basically tells him, like, you look horrible. And then Corbin starts to catch up John Cena on all of the issues that he has been going through. He tells him that he can no longer perform after being hit where the sun don't shine. And he tells him that his wife left him and because he couldn't perform. And so another interesting comment there. And then afterwards, he asked John Cena for money. John Cena is a good guy. John Cena gives him money, and Baron Corbin decides to complain that it is not enough. And so John Cena essentially is like, what the hell? Baron Corbin continues on he continues on and tells him that he's a Hollywood sellout. He then offers to be in the Suicide Squad movie. He offers to be his stunt double. And John Cena's kind of like, yeah, that's a little bit of a reach. This ain't gonna happen. And so Baron Corbin is obviously not being nice to John Cena, especially after John Cena gave him money. And so John Cena hits him with an attitude adjustment, and that is how this segment closes off. And I especially like that later on in the contract signing, we kind of see them touch back on this John Cena Baron Corbin situation. But what did you guys think of this opening segment? How did you feel about John Cena's promo on Roman Reigns? How did you feel about his interaction with Baron Corbin? Go ahead and let me know. I'm going to pull up some of your comments here and see what you guys are saying here. Let's see what we got here. This is a comment from Leo Gutierrez, who says, Corbin's character is definitely entertaining. I'm glad, honestly, I'm glad because it's been a while since I can honestly say that I have found Baron Corbin entertaining. So I'm actually happy that he's doing something that I feel that I can genuinely enjoy here. Let's see what else we got here. And this one's a comment from Martin Correa, who says, I don't know why John Cena hasn't mentioned the bloodline and how he mistreats them. That would be something interesting to bring up. Well, we got, God, how many weeks now until SummerSlam? We got at least a couple of SmackDowns left until we get to that. So I think he definitely has more, material that he can use. And his, Roman Reigns' treatment of the Usos is definitely something that he could bring up in future segments. And he should. I do think he should, because obviously, he's been throwing a lot of really good shots at Roman Reigns. And this is exactly why I've been liking this back and forth between them, because it usually someone always dominates in these promos. And for a while, I kind of felt like Roman Reigns was still dominating just a bit. But today, I think that John Cena took the win here. We have a comment from Adv Devon, who says that the show peaked right at the start. Twitch Face 4 says, this one's, that was okay, I'm going to move on from that. And let's see what else we got here. Okay, this one's from Sam 3, who says that Cena with the one-liners and no sell sarcasm. I love this, guys. I really, really love this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, see if we got any more comments, guys. If you have a brilliant comment, send in a super chat. I'm trying to get in as many people as we possibly can. We got another one from Faustin316, who says that Corbin is actually growing on him. Me too. I can say, as of this moment, I am a Baron Corbin fan. And if you guys have been seeing my podcast for quite some time now, you would be a little bit more surprised by me saying that. We got a comment from Grande Hero, who says that the Corbin Cena stuff was good shit, that he LMAO'd during this entire segment. Then the second he started to feel bad for Corbin, he reminds us how much of a jerk he is. And that's exactly what you want to see. At the end of the day, he's still a heel. He's just like, he's essentially the douchey rich guy who made bad decisions and is now broke. We have another comment from Aaron Kane, who says this Corbin stuff is comedy. Who would have thought that, especially after all the criticism he received? Yeah, and he kind of kept it going. So good for him. Adam Blandplate says, I feel bad for Corbin. Best work of his career. You know what, though? A lot of people never find that special thing that gets them over. This might definitely be it for Baron Corbin. So at least he found something. We got another comment from Pomi, who says, I'm going to enjoy most of Corbin's character while I can, because I know we'll eventually go to Happy Corbin. That's right. They still got that whole trademark for the Happy Corbin thing. So we'll see when we get there what they end up doing with all of that there. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on, though, to our next topic here. So after this, we had a pretty fun match, actually. I really enjoyed this. This was between Rey Mysterio and Jimmy Uso. And for the most part, this was a fun little match. So Right off the top, we see Rey hit a hurricanrana on Jimmy Uso. We see him he gets him in the corner with several punches to the face. We see Rey Mysterio do a baseball slide, and then he ends up finding a boot straight to the face. We see an enziguri from Jimmy. Rey headbutts Jimmy, then does a crossbody. He goes for the pin, but gets a 2 count. Rey Mysterio goes for the 619, but Jay ends up moving Jimmy out of the way. As you guys have been seeing the last several weeks, Jimmy and Jay have sort of been, we're scheming with one another to get these wins here. And so for the finish of this match, we saw Rey roll up Jimmy to get the win, but he ends up getting help from Dominic, who Dominic steals a page from the playbook of the Usos and uses his legs to hold up Rey Mysterio to give him that extra strength to keep the pin. And so that is how Rey Mysterio ends up winning this match. So for what it was, like, this wasn't like a breakout match by any means necessary. I wouldn't say go out of your way to go watch it, but for what it was an enjoyable match here. So I think for the most part, it was enjoyable, to say the least. Alrighty, guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump into our next segment here. But in the meantime, friendly reminder. So for those of you who do not know, I am live 3 times a week on here, guys. I'm so excited because, I have an announcement. I almost forgot about my announcement. All right, so here we go. So I had a couple people on Twitter asking me what's going to go down on Friday once Rampage kicks off. And I had it already in back of my mind that I was going to do SmackDown and Rampage coverage. As you guys remember, when AEW was airing on Fridays, I was doing AEW and SmackDown coverage, and those shows did pretty well. I thought that they weren't, but they ended up doing pretty well. And so people were asking me, like, are you going to do Rampage or are you just going to do SmackDown? And I want to do Rampage. I don't want to miss out on Rampage action. So I officially cleared it, guys. And so Fridays, once Rampage kicks off, I'm going to go ahead and start covering both SmackDown and Rampage on Friday. So I am going to be going on 1 hour later than usual, since Rampage is only a 1 hour show, but I'm stoked. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to do that. But for those of you who do not know, I am live on Tuesdays for NXT, Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite, which is my most popular show of the week, and then here for Fridays, as you guys know, for SmackDown. All right, guys. Ooh, so much to talk about here. Let's do this, because after this, we got the return of none other than the boss, Sasha Banks. So we had Bianca Belair's 100 days, and I can't believe it's been 100 days since she's been champion already, guys. Oh, it went by so fast. I don't even know where the time went. When they announced the 100 days, I was like, really? Already? Well, anyways, I didn't realize how fast these 100 days went, but she comes out, she's getting interviewed by Kayla Braxton about her, her 100 days as champion, etc. We see Carmella come out. She congrats her on her 100 days. Then we see Zelina Vega coming out, and essentially Zelina, this was a little bit something that I was not a fan of, because we see Zelina Vega coming out, and she tells Bianca Belair that the WWE Universe wants to see her challenge Bianca, and she basically she says a couple more stuff, right? But the whole point that I'm trying to get at here is, since Zelina Vega has returned to WWE, she's been on a losing streak. She's lost every match. They've been giving her the jobber entrances. So Bianca said yes to this challenge. However, they haven't announced when it's actually happening or what exactly. So we'll see about that. But the point is here that I do not think that Zelina should be challenging Bianca Belair for that title. And I get it. They don't have very many women on the roster. I get all that. But it just doesn't make sense to have somebody challenge for the title that has been on a losing streak. So anyways, Carmella and Zelina then go on to attack Bianca Belair. They're going at it, and obviously, not everybody may have seen this, but it was reported early on in the day that I think it was PW Insider who reported that that Sasha Banks would be returning on today's SmackDown. So I already knew that we were going to see Sasha Banks tonight, and so once the attack started happening, I was like, okay, this is definitely where we're going to see Sasha Banks come in and boy, did she come in. Her music hit. She got an awesome reception from the crowd. I was very excited. She comes in running, looking like a zillion bucks. Great hair, great gear, looking fantastic. She runs in, and I'm so glad that she came in running, because I hate when people come back and they just walk to the ring when they're supposed to essentially be helping somebody out. So she ran in there. She helped Bianca Belair. She evened out the odds, and then she gives Bianca this big hug. And so that's how that segment ended. So before we get to the main event, let's talk about the return of Sasha Banks, and then later on we'll hop on over to the main event here. But we did get a super chat. This one is from Colette Adam, who says, doesn't the 24/7 title have no rules? Why the DQ? No, I don't know. You can still do the DQ in the 24/7 title matches. My understanding is you can do the 24/7 title rules applied 24/7, except during the actual match. All right. Now, I may have got that wrong. You would think that after covering the 24/7 championship for like months and months and months, that I would finally get down the rules. But apparently this is about that kind of doesn't mean anything. So take that for what you will. Thank you so much to Colette Adam for the super chat here. Let's see what else we get in here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and thank you. Okay, so I am right. Josh Bowen says the rules were suspended for that match. Thank you. I was like, I knew I was right on that. I just couldn't remember because this title kind of doesn't mean anything. But we'll get to that when we get there here. And let's see what you guys thought. What do you guys think about everything that went down with the women's segment, the first portion of the women's segment? We actually have a super chat from Brandon Rosen. Brandon says, Liv Morgan won 3 matches in a row and almost won Money in the Bank, and she gets lost in the shuffle. No mention. What does she have to do to catch a break? You see, Brandon Rosen brings up a great point, a hella great point. This is where I get upset here, because Brandon Rosen just reminded me of something, and now I'm just upset because, all right, so Bayley got injured, obviously. And we saw them making, all of these changes in the women's division. We saw Toni Storm get called up. We saw Knox get called up. Shotzi get called up. We saw Liv Morgan essentially get placed into the Money in the Bank as a plan B, even though it seemed to me that they were actually going to eventually put her in the match. They kind of screwed Liv Morgan because they made it seem like they actually had a purpose for everything that they were doing. They were building a pretty good baby face for a point there for a short period of time with Liv Morgan, because she was essentially getting screwed back and forth. She was a baby face that wanted challenges, got the challenges, got the wins, and then kept getting screwed over by Sonya Deville. So the people were behind Liv Morgan. And then she was one of my predictions for who I thought was going to win Money in the Bank, her and Nikki Cross. I thought it would have been a great story to tell with Liv Morgan, but now Money in Bank has come and gone. What have they done with Liv Morgan since then? Where's the payoff for everything that happened the weeks prior to Money in the Bank? There's been no payoff there. If anything, she should be the one. I get it. She's a baby face and all of that, but she should be challenging for the belt. Even if she loses, okay, fine. At least get her up there. Get her name in that, in that picture. Get her mentioned. And so I do kind of feel like they started something with Liv Morgan and they just haven't finished it. And so now that really bums me out. Thank you, Brandon Rosen, for sending in the super chat and making me go on a rant here. But seriously, though, what now with Liv Morgan? What now? It's like they keep pressing the gas pedal with her, and then they press the brakes out of nowhere. I don't know. I really don't know. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm going to go through a couple of comments here. This one's from Samoan Joseph. It says, Liv should lose a match that will earn her a title shot. Worked for Carmella and Zelina. Oh, man. All right. Sorry, I can't stop laughing at that because that kind of would work, actually, which you think it wouldn't, but it kind of would. Anyways, let's move on here. This is a comment from Josh Bowen, who says Liv has been getting screwed since the OG Riot Squad. Joseph Boza points out that Liv has the confidence where she doesn't have to admit how she is the most beautiful woman in WWE, aka Carmella. I find that Liv gorgeous. Yeah, Liv is definitely gorgeous, but aside from looks, Liv Morgan, the story that they were starting to tell with her made sense, and they just didn't finish it off. Like, they teased us big time there. We got an in-depth comment from Lenny Banner who says, wins and losses only matter in WWE when WWE says so. Liv beat Carmella twice, got no title shot. Zelina hasn't won since her fourth sabbatical, and she's getting a title shot? Question mark. This is the kind of thing that lowers the credibility of a title when they let anyone challenge for it without actually earning it. The stop and go booking hurts way more than it helps folks in WWE. Well, you know what, guys? I'm just gonna quit my job because Lenny Banner just explained everything so much more beautifully than I would. But this is true, though. I 100% agree. When you have people that aren't necessarily, and I get it, obviously sometimes you just want to get wins and that's fine. But when you have people challenging for the belt that aren't necessarily at that level, it does sort of lessen the belt and the meaning of the belt. And I'm a person that, and I think this is how people should be, but the belts should matter. They should be of importance. So in order to keep the prestige of a belt, you got to keep the champion hot. You got to keep the matches hot. You got to keep the challengers hot. It's a bunch of things in one. So thank you so much to Lenny for sending in this very in-depth comment here. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the next topic here because I know we're going to talk more about this once we actually get to the main event. So I will save the conversation points there. But let's go ahead and jump into this next segment here. And man, this kind of bums me out here. But anyways, we had Reginald versus Chad Gable here. And Reginald is the 24/7 champion now. And this was interesting because I thought that I was under the impression that the 24/7 championship was created specifically for the USA Network as one of their ideas to like get the ratings up there on Raw. So I'm not, and I know that the 24/7 title can essentially be defended anywhere, but it's not really defended on SmackDown. So I was a little bit thrown off by this because this is usually something that we see on Monday Night Raw. So I may not have my facts straight on this, but this was a little bit confusing here. But either way, I do wonder what the whole thing is there. Here's the thing with Reginald is that he's been a SmackDown, a SmackDown talent. But he's been on both shows a lot lately. Obviously, everything that he was doing with Nia and Shayna, and now he's the 24/7 champion. I made a joke on Twitter. I was like, dude, I don't even know what brand he's on anymore. It kind of feels like he's on both of the brands. And so anyways, he has this match with Chad Gable. And the reason why I said that this bummed me out is because I look at Chad Gable wrestle, and I'm just like, damn, man, like, they could really do something with him, something legitimately cool and respectful, and they're just not. Like, Chad Gable should be on NXT. He should be on NXT having these great, high-level work rate matches. I mean, when I just watch him in the ring, even the brief little moments that he gets, I don't get it. So that's why this did kind of bum me out seeing him in a match with Reginald. But I know why he was in this match with Reginald. Reginald could do all of that cool Cirque du Soleil stuff, and Chad Gable is a fantastic base for somebody who's going to be doing a bunch of spots like that. So that's pretty much it here. There was a cool spot where they did the suplex from the top, off the top rope, where Reggie lands on his feet. Obviously, given his athletic background with Cirque du Soleil, he's bound to land on his feet there. So that was pretty cool. But it's a DQ because Otis ends up getting involved here. So it is what this is, guys. I don't know what else to say about this. We got a super chat from Tyler Joseph Smith. Thank you so much to Tyler, who says Banks pays homage to her childhood idol, Big Show. The Big Show. Oh my God. Thank you so much to Tyler Joseph Smith for sending in this super chat. Apparently I can't speak tonight, but let's go ahead and jump into a couple of more comments here, guys. So how did you guys feel about Reginald defending the 24/7 title on SmackDown and all of this here? Keith says, I always thought the 24/7 title was the YouTube title. R-Truth did a great job defending it everywhere and at any time in the beginning. I don't even watch the YouTube stuff, so I didn't even know that was happening on YouTube. I don't watch the YouTube stuff. Honestly, I really, really do not know. Aaron says Chad Gable is better than the 24/7 segment. He deserves so much better. It's exactly how I feel. Sean Harrington says Chad punished for being an Olympian, LMAO, and we're in the Olympic season right now. It's the Olympics right now. You would think that they would highlight that, right? Like kind of like brag a little bit about it. Like we got somebody, we got an Olympian here on our roster. Let's make a big deal. Bro, if I was an Olympic, I'd be on here bragging like nonstop on this show. Like, oh, I was at the Olympics, But obviously that's never going to happen. But let's see what else we got here. We got a comment from Pretzels who says that it's a comedy title and Reggie is entertaining, works for me. I do agree with that. And I said this on my Raw post show that obviously R-Truth as 24/7 champion was getting very repetitive. I think he won it like over 40 plus times. I don't even know how many times anymore. I lost complete track of that. But Reggie works in the sense that, again, he can do those fun little moments where he does his flips and all of that, and it looks cool, and it's gonna get over. And if they do it in a way that the 24/7 stuff is usually like quick run-ins, they don't really often have these singles matches for the 24/7 championship. So if they were just to do these fun little segments where Reginald just does flips and catering or something, that could be fun. But other than that, it's just there. But I prefer Reginald in this 24/7 championship area versus what he was doing with Nia and Shayna. I was totally over that. And so there you go with that. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Let's move on here. Twitch Face 4 makes a joke, says the Olympics are a competitor of WWE along with sleep. If you guys don't get that, that was a comment that was made on the call from yesterday. So let's go ahead and move on. Actually, we got somebody that fact checked for us. YT points out that R-Truth is a 52-time champion for the 24/7 title. 52 times, guys. Holy moly. All right, we got a super chat from Flamethrower Fluff Salisbury. Thank you so much to Flamethrower, who says, as a heel, Gable could say how much better he is than current Olympians to get heat. Yeah, he could. Might as well have some fun with it, right? You would think. Dude, like, I feel like no matter what, you should drop that in there. I agree with this comment. Thank you so much to Flamethrower for sending this in. I really appreciate this. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and move on, because after this, we have what some people on here were saying was the best segment of the night. And I want to know how you guys all felt about this, because this was a very, it was a fun segment. Just, again, one minor tweak, and it would have made so much more sense, but it's okay. It's fine. We're just going to move on. So we had the Roman Reigns Finn Balor contract signing. Now, I know for those of you who probably didn't watch SmackDown are like, oh, contract signing. No, this is so boring. Nobody wants to see a contract signing. And I'm with you on that. But this contract signing was actually pretty darn entertaining. So here is what went down on this contract signing. So Roman Reigns, Finn Balor are sitting at the table. Everybody is chanting for John Cena, which kind of makes Finn Balor kind of look like not important, which does kind of suck for Finn Balor, all right? Not going to lie to you there. Roman refers to John Cena as Mr. Missionary, as I mentioned earlier on this stream. That is something that they're going to keep playing on each and every single week moving forward. Roman then tries to play the master manipulator here, and he tries to manipulate Finn Balor because he tells Finn, like, did you listen to John Cena's earlier promo tonight? He says that I'm ducking him and by facing you. So what that says is that John Cena sees you, Finn Balor, as a lesser man. And so I think that is maybe perhaps a tease, a possible tease for us to see Finn Balor, John Cena down the road. If we do, that would be phenomenal. So that could be a little bit of a tease. Obviously, we don't know, but it could be a tease. Anyways, so Roman then kind of throws a shot here at NXT, and he tells Finn Balor that if he signs this contract, that he will smash him and that he will send him back to NXT. And I'm like, oof, send him back to NXT. Damn. Finn then says that he would be privileged to show up to NXT as Universal Champion. So he has a nice quick response to that. But before Finn Balor can actually sign this contract, we have none other than Baron Corbin come out and attack Finn Balor. And based on the actions that we saw from Baron Corbin at the top of the show, it would make sense. The man is desperate. He's lost everything. He's broke. He lost his identity. He lost his wife. I mean, things are just going so bad for him. He is so desperate that he was willing to come out here and fight Roman Reigns for the Universal title and get his marquee match at SummerSlam. But Baron Corbin, my friends, cannot catch a break whatsoever, because John Cena comes out immediately and puts a stop to Baron Corbin signing this contract. And so John Cena ends up signing the contract. He signs it with a Sharpie, BTW. Who signs a contract with a Sharpie? But either way, he signs the contract here. Later on, Paul Heyman is arguing with Pierce and basically telling him that how could this be legitimate if Finn Balor's name is the one on the contract and the signature is from John Cena. And that was the one thing that I think they could have done a little bit differently, because it is true. Like, it is not legitimate. It's not a legitimate contract with Finn Balor's name and John Cena's signature. So Paul Heyman was definitely right on that, and he could definitely, fight that. But they seem to not care. Pierce is like, I'm just gonna look past it. So I was like, all right, they just made Pierce look really dumb. But either way, they announced Roman Reigns. John Cena versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. And so now I'm just thinking here, like, first and foremost, I liked everything from this. I liked how they played this off, even with the incorporation of Baron Corbin coming in and taking out Finn Balor. They did announce that Finn Balor will be taking on Baron Corbin next week. So Finn Balor will be getting his revenge on Baron Corbin. I do like that. And maybe eventually down the line, we can see Baron Corbin, John Cena, because essentially you can say that he stole an opportunity as well from Finn Balor. So we'll see what goes on from there. But what did you guys all think about this contract signing? Were you a fan of it? For those Finn Balor fans, did you like this? Did you not like this? Do you agree with me? Do you think we're going to see Finn Balor, John Cena down the road? What do you guys all make of this? Send in your thoughts. All right, we got a couple of super chats that I want to make sure I get to first, and then I'll read some of the other comments as well. So here we go. We actually got one from Brandon, who says, tonight, we learned yet another way to get a title shot. Invade the contract signing, beat up the challenger, and put your name on the dotted line. So here's the thing, guys. So as an independent contractor, I've signed a lot of contracts, and this is the one thing that they could have done differently. A lot of times on these contracts, on these independent contracts that I've signed, they don't necessarily have my name already in the contract. Like at the very top, they have like the little line that just says like independent contractor, like fill out your name here and like your address and all of that. They could have easily done something silly, like where he could have like plugged in his name at the top and then plugged in his name at the bottom. I don't know. They could have found a way to maybe do something like that. It would have been obviously far more complicated, but it would have at least legitimized the actual contract. So I don't know. That's just an idea, but thank you so much to Brandon for sending in this super chat. And we actually have another super chat. This one is from Eric Bardush, Bardush. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I hope I did not just butcher your last name. I apologize, Eric. But Eric sends in a super chat and says, is this written for 6-year-olds? Question mark. In what country can you just steal someone's contract, sign it, and have it honored? Just brain dead writing, in my opinion. I mean, it could be worse, Eric. You could be having a contenders match for a match that you're already in, for a championship match that you're already in. And that was like the entire theme of Raw. And we're also going to see that play out next week on Raw. So I guess it could kind of be worse. Also, I was watching the first hour of this show with a 7-year-old, and He was not interested whatsoever. He was playing Roblox. So I don't know. He wasn't even interested. I tried. I really did try. I was doing sort of a scientific experiment trying to see if my 7-year-old cousin who I was babysitting for an hour would get into the show. No, he was on his iPad playing Roblox, like I said. But thank you so much to Eric for sending in this super chat. Thank you tremendously. All right, so now I'm going to get to a couple of other comments here, and let's see what we're saying here. This one is from Twitch Face Force. Says, it's written for 60-year-olds. Tony says, what does everybody want? Pen. Let's see what else we got here. We got so many comments on this, and this was Simone Joseph, who says, I thought independent contract was a dirty word. Let's see what else we got here. Eric confirms that I did say his name right the first time. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is a comment from CT, who says, credit where it's due. I zoomed in when Cena held up the contract, and that was an actual properly worded contract, and wash hands. I have no idea. I sign contracts for my work, but I don't know I'm not like a lawyer or anything by any means. So I don't know what the perfectly written thing is for contracts or how they're supposed to be perfectly written there. And let's see what else we got here. I'm going to go ahead and view a couple more comments here. This one's from Patrick, who says, like in real life, that contract doesn't hold up in court, but it's wrestling. They've been doing this for years. They have, obviously. But then you also had Paul Heyman argue it. And when you have him argue it, don't you think don't you think that it does kind of make Pierce look dumb, though, considering that Paul Heyman brought up a legitimate point there, like a legitimate one? Keith Duran says, would have liked to see Cena versus Finn Balor in a #1 contenders match instead of the cluster of a contract signing. Predictable, I know, but it would have kept Balor strong. I wouldn't have hated that. I honestly would not have hated that. A #1 contenders match. Yeah, I would not have hated that, to be honest. And this is a comment from Riff55, who feels that this made Finn look like a joke. Says, quote, we all knew it would be Cena, but they didn't have to make Finn look like a clown. We all knew that it was going to be John Cena. I didn't know exactly how they were going to swerve it or what was going to happen. I think for me, it doesn't feel like, I won't necessarily say what made him look like a clown whatsoever. I don't think so, because Finn Balor, I don't think so. It didn't make him look great, though, but I wouldn't say that it made him look like a clown or anything like that. But again, it didn't make him look that great. So maybe I'm contradicting myself. I don't know. We got a comment from Alyssa Stansberry, who says, can't into Seth, Sasha, same problem. Oh, okay. I'm a little bit confused on this one. All right. I'll read that one afterwards, or let's see. This is a comment from Tamzeen, who says Finn Balor is being treated like a second fiddle type. Yeah, I get that. But here's the thing. And as much as I'm a big fan of Finn Balor, they don't see him. And he hasn't been presented in the same light that people like John Cena have and people like Roman Reigns. So they would have him be treated like that on the roster because he's not seen at that same levels. And I get it. We're all fans of Finn Balor and we would like to see Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, but we all knew that wasn't going to be the SummerSlam match. So I just do hope that they have Finn Balor get his revenge back. And I do hope that we get to see Finn Balor, John Cena at some point. Oh, we're going to stir things up. This one is from Mike in Brooklyn, who says Finn got screwed like Hangman Page. No, Hangman Page got screwed. But obviously we don't know what plans AEW has there. We still don't know. We could be happy with whatever turns out to happen with AEW, but I am very, very sad that match, as of right now, reported by Dave Meltzer, is not happening, and it really bums me out. But this is not an AEW show, so we're not going to discuss that as of this moment. All right, let's see what else we got here. This one's from Ian Kruk, who says Finn is fine. I didn't want him losing right away at SummerSlam. Finn and Roman afterwards. Yeah, and we got to keep the challengers coming for Roman Reigns. John Cena ain't going to be there forever. This is the summer of Cena. Ain't no fall for Cena. Thank you so much to Ian for sending in this comment as well. And then everybody bringing up comments about Adam Page, but I'll bring one more comment, then we'll move on. This one's from Synonymous TV, who says, you don't need to put Finn in the main event yet. They should build him up through feuding with Corbin and other mid-card heels. They should build him up there, because even though we all know that Finn Balor is awesome, we all loved his reign as champion on NXT, a lot of people aren't still privy to that. All right, guys, let's do this. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next segment here, which is, I don't really have much to say about this. We had Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Big E versus Rude, Ziggler, and Apollo. This was just, guys, I didn't care. I didn't care about this match. The thing is with these guys, it's been rinse and repeat. I mean, they're literally have like a bucket of the same guys and are just trying to see what different. I'm over this. Like, I did not care for this match. The match itself wasn't anything like special, but it was a fast match. We did see Shinsuke Nakamura hit Apollo Crews with the Kinshasa, and I'm guessing that later on, we're probably going to have a contenders match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Apollo Crews. And if he wins that contenders match, maybe he'll then face him for the title. I don't know. That's just what I'm assuming now. But I really don't have anything else to say about this because I kind of just did not care. All right, and let's jump in. We got 2 more segments to talk about here, but before I do, I just want to remind you guys all that I will be back next week for NXT. We will be talking all things the Black and Gold brand, and then I will be back for AEW, and then I will be back for SmackDown, and then once Rampage starts, as I mentioned earlier, I will be covering both SmackDown and Rampage. All right, hold on one second. All right, if you are watching the Twitch stream, I think there might be some issues on that end right now that I cannot control. So if you are watching the Twitch stream, I think it might have gone out. So hopefully you guys switched over to YouTube, but I just got a notification from StreamYard letting me know that something went wrong with Twitch. So I don't know if anybody here is still watching from Twitch and everything's okay, let me know. But as of right now, it's looking like I'm just streaming on YouTube. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and move on though. So all right, we had Edge, Seth Rollins here. We had Edge coming out, hits his music, gets his entrance. We cut to commercial break. During the commercial break, Seth Rollins attacked Edge. And then we come back. They show us what happened during that commercial break. Then Seth Rollins cuts a promo basically saying that he's a revolutionist. He then plays a video package proving his point about why Edge shouldn't have essentially gotten the opportunity that Seth Rollins should have gotten. And the crowd is like, does not care about this whatsoever, like does not care. And they're just chanting that they want Becky. They're just like, we want Becky. And I'm like, oof, poor Seth. But anyways, he just basically closes this out by saying that if he can't be champion, neither can Edge. I feel bad, but the people just did not care about this whatsoever. Nothing. And all right, I think Twitch people are saying that it's working now. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. I got like a notification that I've never gotten before, and apparently now it's back, but they notified me that I wasn't on Twitch anymore, and I was like, I don't know, I didn't do nothing. But anyways, so but it's working. We're all good. Thank you. Technology, guys, technology. All right, so let's do this. Lastly, we had the main event, which was Carmella and Zelina Vega versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. And really what we got to get at here is that this was a fun little match that obviously what happened at the end is what we need to talk about. But before we get to the ending here, we did have an awesome moment during this match where Bianca literally lifts up Sasha Banks over her head and she like walks with her. She even like steps over the steel steps, and she's carrying like, you know, a full human over her head, okay? And then she tosses her onto Zelina and Carmella. And that was like, think of the athleticism, the extraordinary strength and athleticism that you have to have in order to do something like that. And I mean, it was crystal clear. Her arms were like straight up. I loved this moment. I really, really did. And we see Sasha hit the Three Amigos. She does a frog splash on Zelina. She goes for the pin, but only gets a 2 count. Sasha gets Carmella with the bank statement for the finish because Carmella ends up tapping out to the bank statement. And then And then here's where the magic happens here. So Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, they're celebrating. Oh, they're friends again. They're friends now, not again. They're friends now, excuse me. They're hugging, all being cutesy. And I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, we still got like a good 5 minutes left on this show. Something has to happen. And then I was like, well, she's clearly going to turn on her. And I was waiting for it. And I was like, okay, is she going to do it now? Is she going to do it now? Is she going to do it now? And she did. And I'm so glad that they did not overcomplicate this. I'm glad they didn't stretch this out for longer than it had to be, and that they had Sasha Banks immediately hit her with the backstabber, and then she just starts punching her, and then she locks her in the bank statement. And I love this because while she's doing this attack, Bianca Belair, her selling during this is fantastic, because if you go back and you look at her facial expressions, she has like the I just got hurt, I didn't see this coming. She has like the crying look on her face. She's confused. She's hurt. It was perfect. I love this. Like the entire thing, and how even the visual of how SmackDown closed off with, with her in the bank statement. I thought it was the best thing that they have done with these two women, because if you guys remember, leading up to their match at WrestleMania, everybody was complaining about the fact that the story that they were telling for Bianca and Sasha was not necessarily all of that great heading into the match. People still were looking forward to the match because we knew that the match was going to be great. But now it seems, at least based on what we saw here tonight, I can say that this was definitely the best thing that we've seen for them. So we can probably assume that this is going to be the match that we are going to be seeing on this is going to be the match that we're going to be seeing at SummerSlam. So alrighty, guys, there you go. That was our show here today. And guys, if you're watching on Twitch, it seems to be that there are still issues. I do not know what is going on with Twitch, but it seems to be on this Twitch's end. So if you're watching on Twitch, hop on over to YouTube instead, because it is not working. Sorry, guys. I do not know what's going on with Twitch. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this show. So let's go ahead and see what you guys are saying. Guys, send in your comments. Sorry, I have to address the technical difficulties. All right. So guys, Twitch is back. I do not know what's going on with Twitch and StreamYard, but there seems to be some sort of connection issue that's never happened before, and it just keeps logging me out of Twitch. I do not know why. It's doing this on its own, so apologies if you guys just want to enjoy the rest of the couple minutes we have left on the show. Just hop on over to YouTube if you guys want, because I do not know what is going on with Twitch. All right, guys, so let's see what you guys are saying here. And everybody's saying that I'm ready for the weekend because I'm getting kicked out of the stream here. All right, this is a comment from Bray Gaming 20, who says that he feels Sasha turning on Bianca was quite predictable, but it was still cool. Here's the thing, like, I don't mind when things are predictable, but if it's done in a way that it's smart and it makes sense, then I'm totally cool with it, even if it was predictable. We actually have a super chat from Brandon Rosen. Thank you so much to Brandon, who says, the main event was the best part of the show. Glad we have a definitive heel turn from Sasha Banks. Now let's have a proper feud with her and Bianca. Hell yeah, this is the time to finally have that proper feud with these two women. And if this is going to pay off at SummerSlam, I am so excited and looking forward to that. Let's see what else we got here. A funny comment from Mario, who says AEW is coming down on employees using Twitch. That's a funny comment. All right, let's see what else we got here. And let's see. This is another comment from Alonzo R, who says Sasha's return was much needed. It's a rematch we actually want to see. And like usually, like I'm obviously not a fan of rematches, but this isn't like we just saw it last month. It's been a while since WrestleMania, obviously. So the fact that, this big amount of chunk of time went by, I'm okay with that. Like, I don't care. I don't mind seeing this match again. I'm totally okay with that. And I kind of hope that they don't do the whole can they coexist thing. Like, please don't do that again. I wouldn't have them touch each other until SummerSlam. Like, they should do what I really like, and I know they did this with Sasha Banks and Carmella. I don't remember if they did it with Sasha and Bianca. They might have. I don't remember. I remember it with Carmella. But when they do the like side-by-side video segments where they're just kind of like talking smack to each other, like almost like if they were on a live stream or something, I like that. I think that's cool. That's a cool way to sort of, address your opponent. That was fun. And they've done it for a couple of other matches too. So I would like something like that. And they just got to keep the promos coming. Like there's so much good stuff that Sasha Banks can say to Bianca Belair that, could be like awesome. And then same thing with Bianca Belair. There's so many good shots that they can throw at one another. So there's a lot of really good stuff there. Another comment from Brandon who says that he hopes Sasha Banks takes the title because Bianca's run has been meh. And I feel bad. I feel bad for Bianca because this is not Bianca's fault, guys. It's not her fault that her run has not necessarily been the greatest. It's the fact that there's hardly no women on that roster, and the women that are there aren't credible enough to essentially challenge for the belt, as we were just talking, since they're probably going to give Zelina a shot and she's on a losing streak. And Bayley, God bless her, because she literally was her only challenger to Bianca. I don't know what Bianca would have been doing if Bayley wasn't there this whole time and they didn't have those multiple matches that they ended up having. And then obviously, Bayley's gone now for an injury, but it's like if Bayley wasn't there for that chunk of time, I don't even know what they would have done with Bianca as champion. Like they would have had to make some really fast changes and fast. Okay. So, anyways, that's pretty much that. Alrighty, everybody. Let's see what else we got here. We got several comments on this. So I'm going to touch a few more. And this one is from YT, who says, I don't want to see them do what they did with Sasha and Bianca from December to Mania. With them repeating tag matches, it got old fast. Let's not do the whole can they coexist. Brandon Charles Powell says, I'll be honest, I've struggled to see Sasha as a babyface. Her gimmick as a boss is a natural heel concept. So this heel turn is kind of redundant. That being said, I'm down for this feud right now. And we got more people basically saying that Bianca's title reign has not been impressive. Synonymous TV says SmackDown has a shortage of heel women. This heel turn is needed. Plus, last thing I want is can they coexist? Please, let's just not do the coexisting things whatsoever. I definitely agree with that. Alrighty, everybody. I think I'm going to read one more comment, guys, and then we're going to go ahead and hop on out. This one's from M. Durrett, who says, it would have been a great chance to have Naomi be Bianca's teammate and then have her heel to set up her also joining the bloodline. To have Naomi set up joining the bloodline, that would be cool. Plus, it would actually give Naomi something to do. But Naomi's on another brand, so there's that too. And let's see, we got another comment from we got people basically saying they still want to see Bianca win as well. Alrighty, guys, there you go. That is our show. I want to thank you guys all so much, as always, for tuning into my shows. They have been growing more so in the last couple of months, and I'm so happy. Really, in the last weeks, I've been seeing so much higher numbers on my streams, and it makes me very, very excited. Obviously, with the return of touring and crowds, I feel like that definitely has had an impact on post shows, like all around. More people are talking about wrestling. At least that's how it feels. And there is so much coming up. Like there's so much to be excited about. Obviously we're heading into the month of August, and we're going to be seeing so much there. And so guys, please just make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram at _ Denise Salcedo, especially Twitter, because that's where I post all of the links for all of the shows that I do. And I also made a very awesome announcement yesterday, actually. So if you missed it, on August 7th, I am going to be the official ring announcer for GCW, guys. Deathmatch Denise Salcedo is going to be ring announcing for the August 7th GCW show, and I'm so excited about that. I reached out. They said yes, and I was like, cool, let's do this, and it's happening. I'm a little nervous. For those of you guys who do not know, I've been ring announcing for years now with several promotions, and obviously because of the pandemic, there was no show, so I didn't get to ring announce. So it's been a while, and so I am a little bit nervous because I'm coming back essentially. So that's going to be very, very exciting to do. So hopefully you guys, if you're in the LA area, you can check out that, or if not, you can check out the show on Fight TV and all of that. I'll post more information on Twitter, but definitely make sure to follow me at _ Denise Salcedo. Also, I did just recently hit 25K on Twitter, and I'm doing a big giveaway. If you guys haven't seen that, that is also on my channel. I'm doing a $50 gift card giveaway to your promotion of choice, AEW, WWE, or both, whichever one you prefer. That is going on right now on my Twitter channel. So there you guys go. I will see you all back here on Tuesday. Have an awesome weekend, guys. Do not forget to give this video a like and leave a nice comment, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.